viewing today?
Yeah, so it's just one of those games that feels like random chaos, hard to play around. I'm curious if I could have added structure. Do you want like background on game, jungle, all that kind of stuff since it's my first, or what works best?
No, I just always want your point of view of what you believe is good, what you think's good. Um, Obviously, why you brought this VOD in.
Um, yeah, so just quick background, like I've been playing since season 6. I was a mid main for a long time playing assassins, Z1 trick. Started jungling like a year ago. Um, and this is probably like a good reflection of current knowledge level of play. But it is one of those where bots trading kills a lot. Ideally, I wanted to path towards bot, but then it looked like Rumble started on my red side and had to adapt, and then found it hard kind of
Oh, you
as the
started
game played out.
Raptors? Started Raptors?
Um,
Or they level 1? Or they're bot lane
I-
leashed?
yeah, like I was asking for a ward, and just the way bot came out, I was like, I think he's there, and then Rumble shows as well. So
Yeah. Mm, it works out this game because they 2v3, but I think if you're not able to trade Alex, you have to be willing to like take the L in this case in terms of okay, he did take your two camps, but you can also just physically move like after wolves, you can still be 3 and you can move to his bot side, right? Or you can potentially even dive bot because what happens here is when they come back from lane, right?
yeah,
Level 1, they give up. They do get the invade, but what you're gonna notice here is they give up control of the wave. I'm not saying they actually had control of the wave in the first place because I think in this matchup it's pretty bad poke. But you can see how they come late to lane, right?
yep.
And they're gonna get poked straight away. So you're always gonna have, even though you don't win purely 1v1 because it's red to blue. This is an option I want you to like start considering because in different games your bot lane is just gonna get snowballed on.
Like if I split the map like this, bot can hard lose and the game's over. You mean?
More difficult,
Or
yeah.
or are you
Not
pointing out that the red invade is also risky because Rumble can come match me if he?
No, it's not risky. I like what you
Okay.
did. You got through. Like I'm just giving you a second option which potentially could be better.
Okay.
And in a different game could be a lot, yeah, like much better option than this because you can't trade back on the Garen, right? Well, actually, you could. He has a Ignite if Skarner trades a lot, but to be honest, there's a knowledge gap here. I'm not sure if Skarner's like strong early game. I haven't played enough on this patch.
Yeah, it's also very random. Like if the person has been practicing Skarner or first timing it, I've had mixed experience. I can't really gather
Okay, yeah,
consistently
same.
whether he's good or not in my games. So yeah, here I'm kind of like forced to path top. It feels like, whereas ideally I'd be pathing towards bot.
Yeah, this is where you have to find a way to not. So after this, yeah, kite the camp. Just tanking the camp for no reason. Okay. So right here is ideally, or right here after this is ideally where you would loop around, and you would either go look to start drag because your bot lane's that much stronger, or I think no, that's the only option. I think going through here is pretty dangerous, to be honest, because the
So
mid
so sorry, you're suggesting looping around where?
looping around to red entrance and walking to
Ah,
jungle
okay, got it.
because Yes, I agree. Like you don't want to go back top. That's the problem with splitting the map is you can fall into a cycle of staying topside again on the next sequence. Right, you
Hmm.
just based. Your bot lane literally 2v3. So if you any 3v3 is gonna be huge, right? Unless they mess up randomly. But I think you can see without seeing like the physical screen that this Caitlyn for sure is getting chunked while Ash is low half, but she must be lower than that.
Hmm. And so in this context, am I predicting that Rumble and Malphite are gonna make a play bot, or am I going for drag? Or is it just
You're not
leaving the
predicting
optionality for both?
exactly. You're the one that gets to they get to decide how they respond, but you're the one starting the act, right? Like you going
Yeah.
bot as soon as you show, because you're probably going to be on a ward. You can choose to do dragon or threaten the bot dive, right?
Yeah.
This is like where I think, like you said, you transitioned from being a mid laner to a jungler, and
Yeah.
it's been only 1 year, but the advantage you have is less of the jungle pathing, but more of the understanding of matchups, right? Because one thing in
Yeah.
the program that uh, I like, especially with people in Sol 2 that are climb just coming to Diamond or above, they're too funneled on like who's got more caps. And I don't think in season 14 that matters at all. Whereas
Yeah.
being in the right spot at the right time matters a lot more. So for example, if we could have found a way to see that this all-in was gonna happen before he died, like this is the stuff I'll be looking at to like maximize because everyone's good at farming camps, right?
No,
If
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been feeling it. It feels really like when I was a Zed mid lane main, it's like you farm at 9 CS a minute and you just like you don't lose lane, you'll have a ton of agency in the game. Here it's like you can do perfect camp pathing and it's not, especially with the champs I'm playing. I mean, maybe I think Zin and Echo are my two mains, with Echo maybe a little bit, but still seems like he needs kills early to have an
yeah,
impact.
and kills are kills, not camps, right? Kills are
Yeah.
exactly. So being at the right place at the right time is really important. That's gold is super valuable just by the nature of the very fact that in mid game you are down 2 levels no matter what. If you're hard gapping the enemy jungler, you're at best behind only 1 level. If your solo lanes are just playing normally, they literally get a 2 level gap on you for no reason. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
I've
why
been I've been trying to find like the right champion to play in jungle. Like I tried Graves, I tried Kha'Zix, and it's just so frustrating when you've had a like almost perfect game by most lane standards, and then you go try and fight like an Alawi top lane and you're 3 levels down, and it just doesn't matter. It's kind of you can't solve that problem.
and that's what exactly. That's why you got to adapt to like how the game works, right? The system basically, because that's not going to
Mhm.
change no matter how good you play or different you play. By them physically just laning, they just have more EXP than you. But
Yeah.
gold is where you can shine, right? You can actually have more gold than your teammates, just not EXP. So this is
Yep.
where like I would be much harder on you for missing opportunities, right? Like that's why I'm saying about splitting the map. You might get more camps like on the first clear because
Hmm.
obviously he did yours, but you did his. But if there's opportunity to like counter or like get kills on the bot side, I'll take that being in the right position there. Same with here. If you knew that top lane was gonna all in here, I would rather you actually skip Raptors and be there
Hmm.
on the right time. But I'm not saying always skip camps. I'm saying be there at the right time. So you calibrate whether you can do a camp or not. Your like behavior slash decision making based on how long it takes to get there, right?
Yeah. Would you agree that right now it's not very clear that top's gonna die, like
Yeah,
given
no,
full
it's not.
health?
But we're always trying to like push the envelope, try to like find ways. Uh,
Yeah. I guess if I panned and saw that Garen might have been low because
well, it's the
obviously if
six
Skarner.
timer, right? It's the six timer, and if Skarner is playing super annoying on him, he's gonna give in at some point, right? Like super annoying is in like he keeps stepping up to him and like trying to annoy him, right? Like auto for auto.
Yeah.
That's when you could have like potentially seen that, yeah. Because these kills 1-for-1's not good because why? He's already okay, he didn't crash the wave, but let's say he crashed the wave. This
Yeah.
kill is, you know, it's only a kill and he actually got everything you wanted. And he got the free
Yep.
reset by dying. I have a question. Why did you recall him?
Yeah, I recalled because I just made a play top, and so I didn't want to stay on the top side in case there was effectively this kind of action here. I mean, I think if I analyzed it better, I would have seen that Ashe was resetting and Vel'Koz was dead anyways. But it's this, like, yeah. I think I'm panicking that I haven't been playing around bot, and it feels like kills are flying left and right. While that's happening, and I know I have an item purchase, so. But then I'm clearing towards top again, which is not what I want to do.
Yeah, so there's two things here. So for sure the game's getting bot side. And that's where I think information is really important, right? So like you said, you just had to make sure that Ashe and Vel'Koz they either weren't laning or yes, you should base, for example. Like the decision making is based off the information you see.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were hard laning, then I'd actually see this base as like actually not bad. Because you can beeline it straight bot or you can go red to bot, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
What
obviously,
about
like,
the concept of basing on like an item, like being able to get the full Caulfield's hammer? Is it's not a big enough
it's
like
bullshit.
spike?
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
need There needs to be so bet differential that you essentially like the gap in like Eclipse spike would be crazy different, right?
Yeah,
But
fair.
an extra 25 AD when your ult isn't really like a massive CD. Usually like the CDR is really good for like your first ult, right? Like a Vi ult, and then your next
Mm-hmm.
ult's gonna be like 20 seconds less or 15. But for Xin that doesn't matter. I guess even if I was Vi here, it probably wouldn't matter because I think the biggest considering factor is, like you said, your bot lane's not even laning, so you have time to AFK farm, right? And just be
Yeah,
efficient.
fair.
But that is
No,
something to
sometimes I try
consider.
and make these decisions like too quickly almost. Like it's like, okay, high tempo, and then I'm resetting to go to bot side, and I'm probably not evaluating that it's like, okay, Vel'Koz is dead, Ashe is coming back, I have time. Like nothing's gonna happen there for at least another 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. That's a habit I want you to start getting into because we need to balance efficiency with being at the right place at the right time. Like that
Mm-hmm.
is, I think, the skill that's the next level. Like you get to a certain level playing jungle, just being efficient, right? Which I think is about diamond, right? But
Yeah, and that's
beyond
where I'm
diamond,
at.
you need to balance between the two, right? It's a balancing act, and that's where like the skill comes in.
Okay. So with what's on the map right now, what would be the game plan instead of backing? Do you just clear full clear on your way down, or like after wolves look for if there's going to be a play and skip those bot camps?
I know there's not going to be a play, but exactly what you said, yeah. Because Ashe is
Okay.
spawning in 3, and Belkos is going to die or he's going to recall. I don't know. It's up to him, but that's a lot of time where you can just AFK farm because they're physically not laning. If they're physically not laning, there can't be any trading going on, right? So
Yep.
you can like really chill in this situation in terms of like, all right, this is the time where nothing's happening because unfortunately, like this mid matchup, It's just there's nothing that's gonna happen unless, well, Cassio has no flash right now, but it's a much harder kill than bot side. So
Yep.
we don't want to go for the hard kills.
Mhm.
Yeah. The second thing to consider as well is I don't want you. Well, you should try this yourself and see how it works, or like question. Just think about this idea, but I don't want you to be basing unless you need to base. It's that simple. Like, and gold and items are not a reason to base unless it's going to change the outcome of a fight.
Got it.
You
What
know,
about
people will base like GA like 6 items. Like that's the dumbest thing. Unless you are literally the sole reason you're gonna win or lose a fight, basing for a GA or a Sterex is just super dumb. That's like a perfect example.
I base for Sterix later this game while they Baron. Like we don't have vision on them being on Baron, but yeah, that
That
does
might be
happen.
a previous mistake, right? Like, but
Yeah.
that's just an example of like you're tiling an item, but you have to actually question: does that item make the diff? Like, is that gonna be the difference maker in winning and losing a fight, right?
Yeah. A question on like this base for bot play. Let's say you clear Wolves blue Gromp and then you get a successful gank top. Even if you don't have like a ton of gold, basing and running bot, that's just efficiency, right? Like it's quicker to get bot with that.
Wait, so say you do Wolves, Blue Gronk, and gank top. Is that what you said?
And yeah, and successful gank, let's say you get an assist and then you base to run bot
Yes.
side to cover the split side play. That's just because like seconds wise, it's more efficient to get there. Is that right? Even if
100%.
you don't have enough gold or you don't need the health. Okay.
100%.
Understood.
And you're showing
Yeah.
and you're showing on the map. You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're showing every single intention, which yeah, for sure.
I think I choose the wrong target here. It like takes me too far out. It works out, but
Yeah.
do I just let the Malphite get away and focus the Kate?
Yeah. The faster you kill, the better. Because I really don't like these ganks if they overextend, right? Like, why? Because of the same problem of the Garen kill, except this time it's worse. If they die, you actually just give them a free reset, but you get the gold. It's like a trade. But you don't actually
Yeah.
deny them any CS, right? Because they've cleared the whole wave, and you can't crash the next wave into tower and deny them the wave. So,
Mm-hmm.
like fast, these kills need to be fast. If they're like,
Yep.
if they're laid out or extended, I think I'd rather see you do camps, for example. That's just like an idea to play with as well.
Sorry, but like yours to our point earlier, where like the kills are 300 gold. It's like
Yeah.
if you can get the kill, guaranteed, it's worth. It's just your point there is get the Kate guaranteed, let Malphite go, and then just farm camps.
Time spent is something like time spent is basically an asset. Is what I'm trying to say. Time spent
Okay.
and showing on the map is valuable, and something you probably need to start thinking about is like, what is the value of that? Besides the pure gold, right? Because when we want to gank, like, think about like this, Alex. When you show, right, and you make a play, that's your turn, and you're cheating your turn. So cheating meaning you have not cleared all your camps and then ganked. You don't have quote unquote free time, right? Like if we're
Yep.
if we're exaggerating. So you're cheating your turn, right? Like if we were talking in like a chess terms. You're making a move before you're kind of allowed to make a move, which is totally fine. But if this play gets overextended and this guy has whole time to clear his whole jungle, right? Like 2 camps worth, for example. That's 2 camps of free time he has after the full clear to punch you back, right? Like a counter punch. Like you have a punch and then he has a wind up punch because you can see how you eventually have to go back to your camps, right?
Yep.
And there's gonna be a timer if you select a better player, where again he has 2 camps worth of time, where you have to play defense for a really long time. But this is a bad example because of course you just killed them pretty fast, right? Like it wasn't
Yep.
really overextended. That's also something just to think about. I mean, there's a lot to like. There's a lot of
No,
ideas and
no,
concepts
no.
I'm throwing
A,
in here.
a lot of what you're saying, like I was part of Sol 2. I've seen a lot of your videos. Like none of these are. I've heard you say them before. Like I think I watched your Kha'Zix review with Nathan Mott, where you talked about like the efficiency kills on Kha'Zix. So it is a lot, but I've heard it before, so it's not overwhelming to hear.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we're gonna. This is not gonna be our interview, so we're gonna talk more. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
there's gonna be overlapping ideas in each review. I always try to make sure it's not reviews aren't specific to the actual game. It's applied across multiple games.
So yeah, here was a panic where I thought I was pincered based on like the minimap, and then same thing, like probably like the quick decision of instead of like getting collapsed, I'm just gonna fight this one-on-one. But I didn't check his items. He had spent his gold, and I probably lose that 1v1 anyways into Rumble.
So what about your pathing? I'm curious. I'm curious why you walked around. You went there initially,
Um,
and then you walked around.
yeah, so I thought he warded it based on his movement, and then I knew Rumble had been leaving these camps open the entire time, so I thought if the gank's not there, I can check Rumble's camps.
Yeah.
And then as I'm moving towards Raptors, I see Garen go back on the trade, so I think of the loop around to be there for that fight. But then Rumble shows, and then I'm in a bad position with no flash and no blast cone, and so I just turn.
I don't think this death is more of a problem. I think the reactivity is a problem because when we react, what happens is they actually get to clear. Like, imagine you catch them fighting now. He's
Mm-hmm.
already spin to win on most of the wave, right?
So are you suggesting I stay in this bush and not assume that he had vision, like see how he plays?
No, you can sit out of vision and assume how he plays because you don't know if it's warded,
Ah,
right? Because this is
okay, got
just
it.
as fine as this if he walks up and ease the spins to win the wave, right?
Yeah. No, that's I actually I know that the ward is likely there, but I'm not thinking about waiting just outside of it to see if he commits to something. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's one. That's also one thing that I would like to see a habit out of you is not reactive ganks where someone got like the first time, right, where Skarner got solo killed and then you just cleaned up.
Mm.
I want to see the proactive plays where you know this guy's gonna either contest the wave 1 or all in 2, and you are there before he does it. That's where the gold is made. That's where the money's made. Where your team's winning, you're not just trading. He gets a kill, but I get a kill back, and then
Yeah.
he gets.
Is there anything right now to signal that that would happen top? Because like he crashed the wave, he's backing. So like from my game knowledge, I don't see anything where like that all in's gonna happen. I'm hoping for like an opportunistic
Well,
gank.
it would have to be whether you think he's gonna base or not. And that would be from probably tabbing and checking item because and seeing how much like estimated how much gold he has for a base because obviously as you
Yeah.
know like laning is a lot different to jungling. Like jungle you can greed a lot hard because you're not versing anyone, right?
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
here, for example, as soon as you see that, like, let's say you weren't walking at him, because actually you should. Also, another thing, Alex, you shouldn't be walking at him because there's no reason for him to step up. There's no wave, right? So you should have been
Yeah.
baiting the wave anyway. But this is
Yep.
another important concept: is everything's played around waves because waves, camps. Think about the non-variables. Something you can't argue with, like something you can't hack or break, right? Dragon spawns every Grub spawn at 5. A wave comes out every 30 seconds, and a cannon wave comes out every 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, not 3 minutes. Every 3 waves, and these are things that you just can't argue. It's just factual. It's gonna happen, right? So you need to abuse information that you already it's gonna happen. So, for example, this wave's gonna crash in the middle, right? And so
Yep.
this is the only reason Garen would ever walk up. Otherwise, why would Garen or any laner ever walk up? They'll just sit in base, right?
Yeah.
Minion waves give overextension, give the opportunities because you have to contest it, right?
hmm No, I find myself making hopeful plays versus high probability sometimes. Like when I'm reviewing the games, I'm like, oh, I was hoping this would happen. Like, like a laner gets a kill on your laner, and then you're just hoping they like lean towards your side or something like that, and then it's a waste of time.
Yeah,
But yeah,
this is
it
definitely a
makes sense.
way better approach. Like, I focus on things that will happen no matter what, because
Yeah.
you can't control like what your teammates do or what the enemy does, but you know what the enemy has to do. Otherwise, he'll fall too far behind. Like, he could just avoid CSing at all and just take EXP. He'll probably live, right? But
Mhm.
at that point, you can get dived. At that point, you're just down so much gold that in mid game you're just gonna lose, right? So there's this point in which they have to do something, right? In terms of like willing to trade, willing to fight.
Yep.
And also, it helps like that. I mean, that was not always going to be her, but that's a nice. And now he's going to contest the wave because he's not recalling in the second bush for no reason. He's not walking around like just to recall.
Yep.
Not bad, but we need to be on the bot side of the map. Yep. Nice.
I think I scuff up the clicks here, or I think my
Oh.
Q2 goes off, but it doesn't.
It doesn't,
Like he
yeah.
flashes the Q2, but it looks like I have an animation. So then I
Yeah. That's weird.
W. Yeah. I remember reviewing that and being like, why did I scuff this?
Holy moly, okay.
Yeah, there was. I mean, it wasn't like the best vision to see it when I reviewed that. It just.
I was just happy you didn't base there. I was like, please don't base, please don't base.
Yeah. Okay.
But here's another example where I think, Alex, you're just opening on the wrong side of the map, but I think the place to be is still bot side. Even though there's like kills traded. Like, technically your Bolian's losing.
Yeah, I'm trying to path towards them, right? Where it's kind of like. Is it like, isn't that a concept where you're pathing towards the lane you want to spend more time in?
When do you want to be there? That's the key.
You're saying, okay, yeah. Like, it's like the fight is gonna happen, and I think that's probably what's happening this game. It's like my intention is to be there, but I'm not there at the right times.
Exactly.
And then their lead is like slowly withering away, and the Kate is getting ahead. And even though I want to be there, it seems like it's always happening while I'm on the other side.
Exactly.
I don't know how to adjust.
You need to calibrate, like I said before, you need to calibrate your behavior, like how you want to path to where you want to be at what time. And that's when I'm talking about waves, right? So nothing happens when there's no wave, correct? Like we talked about, like nothing's gonna happen here. But after Golems and Red, there's gonna be a next wave coming, right? And then how they play and decide how you play. They give the wave, you can get full bot side control, and then the next wave, they can't see anything, for example, right? You drop 3 wards with Vel'Koz in their jungle, or maybe not even their jungle, like shallow jungle entrance. You sweep, and on the next wave, they have to do something again. If they don't do something, you can just dive them, probably, right?
Yeah. But
Malphite's
in
not.
this specific case, when I'm looking, like it seems like Ashe is just taking a 1v1 that's hard to predict. Like this pathing, if I skip Red and Grump, syncs me with Vel'Koz, no?
If you skip Red and Grunt, but you didn't know Vel'Koz was going to die here, though.
Yeah, that part's true. So right out of base, I did not know.
So,
Correct. Okay.
like, this is a perfect time to be bot. Ashe is coming out of base, you're coming out of base, and the wave
Got
is coming with you. And you would decide whether to skip your golems here based on how he plays or keep going. And like I said, this is not a one shot. Like, this is not hoping and shooting, because you have continual sequences after this if they respond by resisting, right? By playing it safe. You still have continual. For example, it would, in this case, it would be golems. All right, maybe if you had a little bit of free time, you just sweep Tribush and Dot, for example. Go to red, come back because the next wave's going to be here by now, right?
Mhm.
And see how they play once again, because they can't just keep conceding. If they keep conceding, they're just going to lose. So you're not relying on them making a mistake. You're forcing them to come out of their shell at some point, right? You're putting them in a corner basically, where Rumble has to respond eventually or trade top. He has to go kill top.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I think I'm keeping it too structured where I'm pathing, but I'm not. With the level of volatility that's happening there, I can assume that I should just be there when my bot laners are there and stuff will happen.
That's gonna come with experience, right? Sensitivity to. That's why it's beneficial that, like you said, you were a laner before, right? You know,
Yeah.
it's like something obvious. Is like you're an assassin player. You know your timer is gonna be either Dirk or level 6, right? Where you can start trading hard or winning trades hard, right? As a
Yeah.
jungler, that's really beneficial to know if you know laners matchups like that. That's when you can either counter, like if I'm versing a Zed and I know he's gonna all in at 6, I'm a mage, I'm gonna be right behind him, right? At that
Yeah.
timer. Same with this one, this spotlight matchup. You actually can't, like, this is a psycho matchup. You can't predict when they're gonna trade on the wave, but you can always predict they're gonna hit each other. Like, because the
Yeah.
mage is
That,
so.
that's what's happening. Like they're just trading kills nonstop. And even though I'm like 4-2, okay farm, like it doesn't matter because they're trading shutdowns. They all have more gold than me. It's
Exactly, yeah.
tough. Yeah.
I've noticed that recently as well. Like, it's really hard to make up for these situations on the other side. Like, let's say the jungler ganks spot and then gets a double, and you get like 3 camps, scuttle, and like grubs or something. It's if he doesn't like if you don't get a play back, it's really hard to trade, because
Yeah.
yeah, you actually just don't get as much as previous seasons, like, or like way back, or they nerfed again jungle XP.
Is that experience like mainly the difference between this and previous seasons? Just like how much experience you're getting from those counter camps?
Yeah, I used to pride myself on being like 4 levels up just by AFK farming. That was my
True.
thing. That's how I used to go at rank 1 NA everywhere, even in Korea. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not, the game's not like that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like a perfect example, but it just had to happen 2 minutes early. You see how you're like, oh, you're not showing, but you're not scared to show. Like, you don't know if it's watered, but you're not scared to show here, right?
Yeah.
You're here before the wave, uh, which works out well because he face checks. But if nothing happened, you would proceed deeper, right, into the jungle.
Yeah. Vision question for you. The way I path there, if there's a ward not in that bush, but in the bush past it, will it see me?
No, try bush.
Yeah, like the
No.
bush hides everything behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it.
Because these situations of the jungle, is really hard, right? When your Garen is literally just, or their Garen is literally just farming your camps in front of you and just.
Yeah, and it's like,
pushing
if I leave him alone, he's gonna get the tower, so I'm catching a wave that I get no experience from. Yeah.
This is what this is what I mean by the importance of like being at the right place at the right time, because now you're getting punished. This is, if we're taking full responsibility for like carrying games, this is your fault in the sense of the early game, like missing the 2 opportunities where you could see that he was gonna all in, or potentially all in. Like the level 6 timer was iffy, but I think if he panned over how Skarner was trading, this guy was eventually gonna just like give in and just fight to the death.
I think I saw that Skarner was full health, so I assumed it wasn't volatile, but I think Garen was probably at like 20-30% health, based on how it played out.
Yeah, Skarner was puffing his chest, like he was on the range creeps, like just trying to beat the shit out of him the whole time. So
Yeah.
That's what I mean, because at this point there's no like, or at that situation there's no review on like, yeah, or like there's no, you're checkmated, like in this scenario. There's no.
Yeah, the game feels really hard to play here because, like I've been playing Xin like the last month or so as part of the trying to figure out a champion I like, and I like the amount of like agency and control you have, where if you can keep tempo, like you're still a really good fighter into the mid late game. But when I play as like engaged Xin, it feels like I give a lot of agency to my team and like especially in this elo, you'll have like an ADC that doesn't auto attack like an entire fight. They're just not. They're either auto filled or they're in a bad mood, and so I'm trying to like not play key engage. Like here in this case, the Vlad actually plays well and follows stuff up. But then, like the game gets hard because Skarner is so weak, built AP, and we have no real engage outside of me. The Ashe is like pretty tilted. I think ends with like 17 deaths. So it becomes hard to play around objectives and all that kind of stuff. And to your point, it's like, yeah, I'm in a high elo game, like I'm just checkmated here and would lose this game. Is that a fair characterization?
Yeah, your ability to impact the game diminishes as solo laners increases. Their ability to impact the game increases, right? That's just the nature of like the game right now. Just as an 80 carry at 6 items, highly more impactful than you. His like decision making. So is yours early game. So it's like the trade-off of like just the game. Unless you're playing like an AP jungler, then maybe. AP jungler's like there is some hope, but you're still down like for example here, you're Vlad's level 13, but he lost lane, you know, and you're level 11, you know, so it's like that's what I mean.
Yeah. In these situations, is my life worth it? Like their jungler's not on the map. I forget where he was, but it's third drag.
I don't care about the dragon. I care about the shutdown here. If I'm like looking from your POV, if we can trade this kill, the dragon's just extra.
Okay, so play for the fight here, not the thing is that the steal is free, and I feel like I'm about to get there. I just get like body blocked by Garen, and then
if the steal is free, there's like no problem. But fight is what matters more, and the shutdown, like, especially when you're behind.
Yeah.
Trading 1-for-1 on shutdowns is huge because not only is it a shutdown, you're trading a kill on the raid boss, where you're not as scary for them, but Garen is extremely scary for your whole team right now.
Yeah.
How does this game go? Like, damn.
We end up winning it, to be honest. I end up getting pretty fed on a couple fights, but we lose almost every objective. They get Soul, they might get a Baron. The Cassiopeia, I think, plays quite poorly like the entire game. Oh, this is a good play where I think Vlad was, yeah, just good and knew how to play. He kind of
Nice.
covers there.
Malphite missed his ult. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm surprised Garen hasn't run the game. I guess Skarner is OP. He's actually defended the tier 2. Well, Ashe helped too, but...
Yeah, he is matching Garen, which is good. Like, sometimes you get the tilted top laner that's like, I've created a problem and...
Run
I'm
away
leaving
from it, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the fact that he hasn't even got tier 2 is, when he's down 2 levels, kind of crazy. Oh, must be pretty good. Oh, raid boss is here. Down. Any questions about these sequences?
No, none of these. I think the only, if we go into some of the later game team fights, just want to make sure like my target selection, because I've gone through like different layers of playing Xin. I sometimes, like an idiot, try and like assassin flank it instead of like peeling for my backline. So
Okay.
I've tried to be more like within everyone.
I know this is like based off like literally just killing a ward, but mentally, Alex always wants you to be in fight mode, like fight ready.
Yeah.
In these mid late game scenarios, so you never compromise your positioning unless there's something of more value than fight position.
Like
here,
you're saying, I split off Ashe, or I use my Q. What part is the poor part?
the not splitting off Ashe, it's the area you're in which they can see you, and not only they can see you, they can see that these two people are here. So they can see physically your split, and not only that, if they fight you right now in this area, even if your team was maybe coming, you're in a choke, right? Like here, alright, it can work both ways, but clearly on your side, you don't have an ability to abuse terrain, right? Ashe wants to see everything. He's a long range AD carry, right? It's not a Tristana or a Kai'Sa where you can abuse terrain while being a low range champ. Rumble obviously, Rumble obviously is going to abuse this terrain hard. Like, look at this. You have to ult just because
it's
you
actually
can't.
like the perfect, yeah.
Exactly. So, just you're not thinking that way though. If you're just like, oh, I'm gonna clear the ward, instead of like, just being aware of your positioning, because a fight could break out at any moment, especially when they're missing, right?
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense.
For the next fight, we are mid to bot.
I think we lose Infernal. I think, yeah, Ashe just... Let's see. Oh yeah, this is kind of where Ashe can get one shot by the Malphite. And so I don't know if my positioning's bad. Like, do I need to be on top of her?
Yeah. But why are you half. Oh, why don't you have ult and half HP? Or less than half?
Oh,
More than half.
I face checked vision. I think I'm first to
Oh, I
go, and
missed
they
that
have
fight.
2 stacked.
Yeah. What happened here? So Cassio 1v2 low key.
Like I saw Vlad coming, and I didn't want to add to like the Cassiopeia just killing me. Like
Yeah, I mean,
I thought
Ash
it
could
was
have done
fine.
the same thing. Just
Yeah,
stood
yeah.
still. It's whatever.
I think I didn't adjust.
Yeah,
Vlad booked a left, and then I probably can wait for my team as well, even if Vlad's there. It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
a good idea.
that's probably the main thing. Baron's not even up, so give them a choice to start Baron or like continue to sin. Like if they sin the bush after like 5 seconds of Baron being up, you can also just W the bush as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I think here you for sure you want to be in front, but now you can't. So that's the big problem because you don't have ult.
Yeah.
It's not poor positioning. It was just the previous mistake I think led to that.
Yeah, and then this is a lot. Like I don't want to throw the entire game on
you
this
evolve.
fight.
Yeah. Oh, good call. Good call. I think if you go there, it's even worse. Game's
Oh
not
yeah, I've
over.
lost plenty of games going in there, so I'm kind of waiting for the Kate to either like give me the free positioning or
Hey, that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Third, fourth, like fourth dragon is not game winning. It's the only checkmate objective is Elder plus Baron.
Yeah. So if I had Flash and Vision on it, would it be worth? I guess not, because we would lose Baron, right? I would just
Yeah,
give the soul.
unless you're super confident for whatever reason, like you're feeling yourself, just steal it, do it, right? Why not?
Yeah.
If you lose Baron with it, probably not.
This fight, I feel like I kind of panic played out. I don't know if it was frustration from losing Infernal Soul. It ends up working out, but I assume it's not the optimal way to play it.
No, you can play pure front to back. Why? Because they've committed for you. They're full committed when they can't follow up.
Like, sorry, the Malphite and Rumble are out of place. What do you mean they've committed?
So what I mean by committed is positioning and abilities used. So abilities used, Rumble cannot use abilities because he's overheated for the Baron. Malphite's just altered, so he's stuck. He's physically stuck here. If you pause this freeze frame, he's stuck here and this guy's stuck here. Now, one thing you can do is you can assume this guy's dead. You can ignore the Malphite. I would definitely go on the Rumble and just ult everyone as well.
And then if I Q stack on the Rumble, I can E the Kate knock up, like that would be okay, or still play the front to back
Still
fully?
play the front to back because their laners are gonna die before your laners die. In this case, you are like the quote unquote laner. What I mean is whoever gets hit at the front, they're melting before you melt. Especially when you have like Zinza ult and Merc Treads, right? If you get Cassio ulted, you're still chilling because you have Zin ult on, right?
Yeah, that's something I almost like, given the years and years of assassin play, I almost never play out fights that way.
But it's not end all be all rule. It's in that specific scenario because of the way that they committed. You can chill. You don't need to force yourself to like make a super play.
Yeah, I think we went shortly after.
Oh yeah, it's the same fight. Yeah, it is. The Malphite's not hitting the same anymore. You guys are defending now.
Yeah, this was yeah, I feel like it was one of those games where I'm like, it shouldn't have been this hard, given that we had some like decent players on our team, like the
Well,
Vel'Koz and Vlad.
Yeah,
in particular.
Vladimir is extremely shed at this point. Reversing. The only counter is pretty much Garen Silence.
I think they just killed him. We got Elder and they kill him while we do Baron, so that's probably it on the bot.
Wait, what? They got? Oh, you got Elder. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, Elder Baron. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.